We're going to talk about what has happened in Ukraine on this day of the Russian invasion. We'll examine the actions and the strategies, both military and political. Now, if this is your first time watching, my name is Darren Gertis. I'm a professor who's built multiple leadership programs at Charleston Southern University. So we'll also view these events through the lens of leadership. And I also wrote a book about Zelensky called I Need Ammunition, Not a Ride, and you can find it on Amazon. Okay, it is day 98, and here's what's happened in Ukraine. Russians struck a rail line in western Lviv. Now, why in western Lviv? Lviv's on the far left end of the country, not anywhere near the action in the east. Well, that's to disrupt the flow of Western weapons. They're hitting rail lines, right? And the weapons are going to come in fastest on rail rather than on trucks. Of course, the major fighting is still in Severodonetsk, and the mayor there is telling the press that Russia now controls 60% of the city. In an interview with Newsmax, Zelensky said today that the situation is very difficult. He said between 60 and 100 soldiers die every day, and about 500 are wounded, and that's how we keep our defense. Now, that is quite a telling statistic. Now, the Ukrainians have not put out official statistics because I guess for morale reasons about how many dead or wounded or whatever. And you can do the math. It's about 100 days into the war. And if you have about 100 people wounded a day, that's, and just be conservative and say, let's say 100 days, 100, right? And so it adds up. So if you're having a 10,000 killed and, 4 or 5 times a multiple of that wounded, that's significant. Now, the Russians are trying to kind of as a pincer movement. They're trying to squeeze from one side to the other like they have largely control of the East in this inverted sea. And they're trying to go north from Popasna and they're trying to go south simultaneously. And right now, the shortest distance between the Russian lines, I just calculated it on the map, is only about 15 miles or 23 kilometers. And if the Russians could close that distance, they could encircle a large chunk of the Ukrainian force and really postpone whatever's coming down the pipe, or maybe even stop it. It would be very, very bad for the Ukrainians. Today, Joe Biden wrote an op-ed piece in the New York Times. He said, quote, "I've decided that we will provide the Ukrainians with more advanced rocket systems and munitions that will enable them to precisely strike key targets on the battlefield in Ukraine." So he reversed his reversal, which is good, but stop sending mixed messages. Sergei Lavrov responded to that, said that there was a risk of a third country being drawn into the war. He doesn't want that. Like, the last thing that he wants is the U.S. involved in the war. The U.S. doesn't want to be drawn into the war. Both parties don't want it. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov added, "We believe that the United States is purposefully and diligently adding fuel to the fire, and that Moscow viewed these actions extremely negatively." Well, sure, yeah, the U.S. is weighing in on the Ukrainian side of the scale. It's not just to drag it out; it's to stop it. So, I mean, that is what's going on. Okay, so that's all for today, and thank you for your time. Listen, I appreciate that you're willing to listen to me. Leave me comments. Tell me what you think. Am I hitting the right notes? I'm trying to provide military, political, economic. I'm trying to see all perspectives. When I look on YouTube, I see somebody, I'm trying to remember his name. He's awesome, and I want to give him a shout out. His name is Dennis Davidov, Davydov. Go look him up. Dennis Davidov does a phenomenal job keeping people updated on just the military situation daily, like using the map, showing where things are. And he's a native Ukrainian, so he does a great job with that and can explain things that I don't see. Now, my background is political. I have a master's in public policy with my PhD and my MBA. My PhD is in organizational leadership. So I see things differently. So I emphasize the political as well as the economic as well as the military. And I do that intentionally to provide a broader perspective. But go look this guy up. He's really incredible. All right. Have a good one. Hey, if this video was helpful, hit like to help others find it in YouTube's algorithm. Subscribe so that you can stay informed. And one more thing, if you are moved to contribute to the humanitarian aid for Ukraine, I have a link below for Samaritan's Purse. If you want to give, be sure to give only to reputable organizations. There's a lot of scammers out there. Thanks for your time.